All right, it's time. Georgia spring game, Saturday. You might be watching this on Saturday, but here are some of my predictions for things that I think are going to happen during G-Day. Some of them are going to be just real rapid fire. I just think that's going to happen. I'll talk about the quarterbacks a little bit more in depth, of course, but some of this will be rapid and just kind of my quick thoughts, some things that I want you to lock it in for G-Day. First, real quick, I'm going to plug the books. Ryan Curley from Dog Post here. Double Dogs, DAWGS. These were kind of the beginning of the story, right? The beginning of the story, at least in the eye of the public. DAWGS example, A.D. Mitchell. He had a big G-Day. He ended up having a lot of big plays for Georgia. Double Dogs. Arian Smith. I have an Arian Smith prediction. You saw some of that at G-Day. Obviously, that was important there at the end. Make sure you're checking both of those out down below. Red Zone, DoorDash, Double Dogs, DAWGS. You can get whatever you want down there, really, in the description. Make sure you're subscribing if you haven't. Look, Bear Alexander. He's my defensive predict. I got 5 takes up here, 5 takes-ish, and I only have one about the defense, really, because I think this day is going to be a lot about the offense, even though it's great defense, right? Missing a couple key guys. One of the guys they're missing, Michael Williams, Bear Alexander. Expect Bear to have a couple hurries, a couple sacks maybe. I think he's going to get in the backfield a couple of times and make some plays. Jalen Carter, big shoes to fill as far as star power goes and some impact goes, really, more than anything. Bear Alexander, he's the guy I look at. Are you going to fill those shoes? I think he starts filling them there. He played well in the playoffs. He's a guy that came along towards the end. He's a guy that is going to play a lot this year. And I think Bear is going to have a big game. I expect a couple pressures from Bear Alexander. What we got next? What I say? Arian Smith. That's him catching a deep ball against Missouri in 2021. He caught a deep ball from Carson Beck at last year's G-Day. I think he catches at least one deep ball from Carson Beck again this year. Oh, that's a lame prediction. It happened last year. Here's what I'm going to say. 1, I don't care. 2, I think they got chemistry. I think Carson Beck and Arian Smith have some chemistry, and I think that's cooking up. And I do think that Carson Beck wanted to be a starting quarterback. So if he does, maybe a big year for Arian Smith. Expect them to look for him downfield a G-Day. They're gonna have to. They used him in crunch time. They're gonna use him again in crunch time this year, and they're gonna show it off a little bit on Saturday. And maybe more than one quarterback throws a deep ball to him, but I think it's gonna be Carson Beck. Lawson Lucky, all right. Lawson Lucky. Listen to what I gotta say about Lawson Lucky. We know he had a big first scrimmage. Darnell Washington is gone, all right. So the tight end 2 spot is open. That will likely go to Oscar Delp, okay? Oscar Delp's probably going to be the tight end 2 this year, as he should. He's very talented. Obviously, he's a route runner. Lawson Lucky, more similar to Brock Bowers and just kind of beefy, not as tall, super athletic, and he's having a good spring, and he's fighting for time. Pierce Sperlin, collarbone, the other freshman tight end they brought in, he's out for the rest of the spring. All right, he's out for spring. He's not going to play on Saturday. He broke his collarbone. Lawson Lucky is going to get targets in this game. Last year, we saw Oscar Delp get targets. We saw Eric Gilbert have 2 touchdowns. Lawson Lucky, I think he gets a touchdown. I think he gets a touchdown. And he's going to have a few catches. So that's my prediction for Lawson. Dominic Lovett. I think that this guy's going to be a huge player for Georgia this year. He could be the wide receiver 1. Like, if he ends up being the wide receiver 1, don't be surprised. This guy's shifty. This guy's had a great spring. Expect him to have a few catches, maybe a score on Saturday. I'm excited to see how they use him. I've heard they've used him all over. They've used him in the slot. I've only heard good things about Dominic Lovett this spring. I think he's going to be on the field a lot for the Dogs. I'm excited about their wide receiver room. Quarterbacks, I'll end it on what I got to say about these quarterbacks. I think Carson Beck has the better day. I think that Carson has a better day. I think he will be the more poised quarterback. I think that you will look at him and be like, yeah, he's a little bit more ready than Vandegrift, because it's just where they're at. I think that Carson's got a bigger chip on his shoulder than Brock Vandegrift, and Carson's supposedly winning this job, right? Carson was in the lead coming out of the offseason in this competition. But I think he's got a bigger chip on his shoulder. He's been waiting longer. He thought he was going to be the starting quarterback against UAB. It was Stetson, and that was another huge point in the Stetson story. He's got to fill Stetson's shoes now. He's waited his turn. He's been the backup for 3 seasons. He was Stetson's backup last year. He played a lot this year. I think Carson has a very good game statistically. A clean game is what I'm predicting for Carson. But I think Brock Vandagriff is going to make more wow plays. Carson's going to have a play or two where you're like, wow, his arm. But Brock Vandagriff, a handful of times, you're going to be like, wow, that guy can really move. Ooh, that's an athlete. Ooh, what if that guy figures this out? Those are the types of plays you're going to see from Brock Vandagriff, I think, because that's what he is. And it's going to make people think maybe he should be the starter, and maybe he should be. But the winner, whoever plays better on Saturday, is not necessarily going to be the starting quarterback. All right, it's just how it is. This is one sample, and maybe it's a big sample, but it's one sample of the puzzle of this offseason, the puzzle of the last couple of years. Who's the next guy? It doesn't get decided just on G-Day. Obviously, it'll be very much in the eyes of the public. It's going to be on ESPN. There's going to be, I don't know how many people are going to be there because the stadium is not going to be at full capacity, but people are going to watch this game, and because there are more eyeballs on it, if Vandagriff or Beck has a better day, there's going to be pressure, there's going to be assumptions that guy is going to be the starting quarterback, and you can't have those assumptions. Yes, it is important how they play in a hyped-up environment where there are people there, the band is there, and all of that. It is important when it's a crowd, it's a real football game. You very much have to take notes from that. How did this guy process? How did this guy make these decisions when the pressure's really on you, when it's a game-like setting? How was that throw on third down? Should he have thrown that out of bounds? Should he have taken a chance on that? Maybe he should have taken off. Those are the questions we're going to have for Brock Vandagriff and Carson Beck. And whoever plays better on Saturday is going to get a lot of attention. It's going to get a lot of pressure, but it's not the end-all, be-all. This is a long competition that I think is going to – there's not going to be a starter announced in the spring or the summer. I doubt it. Right? It's not going to happen until the fall. So you temper your expectations for these two guys on Saturday is what I want to say. Maybe it's one day of the competition. That's basically what I want to say. Some of my takes and a little bit of a rant there at the end. What are some of your interesting takes? Some of those were real specific, really simple. If you've got an interesting one, comment it before the game. Or I don't know if you just made that up. Thanks for watching. Down below.